Assalamualaikum, dear students. I'm just going to describe you the basic components of the interface of IBM SPSS AMOS. This is a software which is used to analyze the data in terms of statistical techniques, either that are dependence techniques or interdependence techniques. You can use this software, and the main elements of this software are, for example, this is the first menu, first bar. This is known as a title bar of the AMOS, and here is the name of the file which is going to use, and these three buttons are basically for minimize, maximize and close. And the second bar is related to the menus of the software, and when we these are the menus, and when we click on any option, for example, when we click on file, this is the menu which contains the operations related to the file of the AMOS. This is edit, view, diagram, analyze, tools, plugins, help. These are all the menu bars of the IBM SPSS AMOS. This is the toolbar of the AMOS, and this is another bar which contains certain other components of AMOS. And when we talk about the AMOS, this is the area where you actually make the graphical are the model features of the AMOS, and this working area is known as a canvas. And in the bars, this is toolbar, and this is the another bar which contains certain options. I just describe you these options in detail here, and this is basically the now look at here. Now the first part that in the bar is known as the two icons, and these icons represent the input mode or output mode. The first one is the input mode, and this is known as the output mode. This area contains the information regarding the groups on which you are working on, and if your file has been split, or you are having analysis of two groups, and then your group names will appear here. And this area describes the model which you are going to use, and this area having two options. First is for the unstandardized estimates, and the second is for the standardized estimates. You can select here when you are in output mode. You can select for either unstandardized estimates or for the standardized estimates. This is the area where brief output of chi-square test will appear, and this area show all AMOS files of the folder where the attached file is saved. This area describe all the files in this area. Okay, now the other thing you have to keep in mind are the color in AMOS. The first one, black color, is basically the default color, and the red color is the color on which action will be executed here. Blue is the selected item, and the green is the destination. Okay, and now comes to the errors in AMOS. When we talk about the errors in AMOS, these error can be of specification of in the specification of the diagram, and when you click on the analysis, you will got a pop-up error, and these pop-up errors are of following types. For example, the first one is related to the variable, and there is more than one variable with the same name. If you are the first error is related to the one variable with same name, so when you specify two variables having the same name, for example in this example you put f1 here and f1 here as well, so you will get this pop-up error. So just mention the different names in of the variables, so never give the same name of any variable in the in your model. The second type of error is also related to the variable and which is present in SPSS data file, is represented by ellipse. It's mean when you develop a model and in that model you describe a latent variable which having the same name as was that name was in your data file. For example, we can see this error here by doing an example. For example, I have a data file here. I can select any data file from here, and even I was working on this structural model, and in this model I was having certain files. So just select all and delete all the contents of this, and now I'm going to develop another diagram, and this is the list of the variables in my data set which I am using. So first of all I want to describe the properties of the file. So I am just opening the file here, and when I open this file, IBM SPSS work on the files which are saved as .save and used in IBM SPSS. So we can only use the files which are stored in the SPSS. I'm using the IBM SPSS statistic version 25 and the AMOS version 23. So you can just open the file which you are going to use, open it in IBM SPSS, and in the IBM SPSS in IBM SPSS you will see the characteristics of your file, and I am having this file with many variables. For example, this is identification or ID variable, these are the age, this is related to the attitudes towards coworker. Even I have the file with the variable label as well, from where you can even learn the contents of the file easily. The first is the imply ID, and the second variable is related to the age of the respondent, and the second is related to the this variable is related to the attitudes towards coworker, and this is related, these are the 4 questions which are asked for the attitude towards coworker. Then is the gender class, implied type class, and these the above variables, these are the metric variables. You can see here, these are the metric variables, and these 3 variables are nominal variable, while the other are, for example, this is the environmental perception of the implies, and here are 4 questions on environmental perception, and this is the experience of the respondent. This is the dependent variable job performance, and the when we are collecting the data, we ask these 4 to 5 questions on job satisfaction. And this is another dependent variable which is organizational commitment, and the 4 questions has been asked on organizational commitment. This is another variable with the name of staying intention, and this is these are 4 questions which are asked to analyze the staying intention variable. So these are the variables which are used in the file, and in IBM SPSS AMOS this file is used by selecting the data file from here. Just go to the file name and then browse the file where it is located, and from there you can select that file. So I put this file in this folder, and I'm just going to click on it, and I will select, so you can learn how you can select this file. So I just select the file. I'm just selecting the file with the labels. Okay, now this file is being used, and for example these are the variable list which is in that file. And now I'm going to draw an observed variable. For example, I have the variable attitudes towards coworker, and this variable having this construct having 1 2 3 questions. So I just put 4 indicator for that variable. So first of all, I just drag the items here and here. I think this file will disturb us, so just select the file without labels, because this will distort our output. So just select, I have a file without labels, so I'm just going to use this file. So just drag the name of the variables. These are the observed variables of this construct, and this construct is basically related to the attitudes towards, this is related to the attitudes towards coworker. And if I put the variable name as it was in the IBM SPSS, and this will create a problem for us in the long run. I will told how this will create a problem. And I'm just changing the shape of the construct indicators, and from here just drag the contents to make the shape better. So now I am just adding another latent variable here, and just put 4, because I am having the job performance variable here, and job satisfaction, and job satisfaction was having 5 questions. So I am just adding the 5 indicators for that construct. So I just drag the variables here: job satisfaction 1, job satisfaction 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this is related to the job satisfaction. So I just change the shape of the indicators. Okay, now I drag the covariance symbol for the latent variable. Now I put the name of this construct as job satisfaction. This is just, I'm going to describe you the errors in IBM SPSS. If you put the name of the latent variable which are already in your data file. So see, this AC is already in data file, and this job satisfaction is already in data file. If I run any analysis on it, it will create a problem. It will give a pop-up errors, and the first error is 9 variables are unnamed. It's mean I am having certain error terms which are unnamed. So select the names by just selecting and giving the name. For example, this is E1. I can give it a unique name. For example, this is E1, and so on. Or I can use also a plugin to give the name unobserved variables. Just clicking on this, you will get all the unobserved variables by their name. So first error has been resolved. Now I run the analysis and I got is AC is represented by an ellipse in the path diagram, because AC is an observed variable, and but here it is mentioned as latent, so you will get the error. So just put the name, any other name. For example, I just put the attitude here, attitude C. I'm just giving it the name of attitude C. So now this error is resolved. Now I am just running the analysis and I will get another error, which is job satisfaction is represented by ellipse. So I will change the name of this and I will give it in name of job S, or job satisfaction. So now this error has also been removed. Now if I run the analysis, I will get the output here, and you will get the chi-square values here in this portion of the output. And as I have told you people, these two icons are related to the path diagram, and this is for the input path diagram and this is for the output path diagram. And when you click on the output path diagram, you will get all the estimates on the path on the diagram, and here you are seeing that these are the values of the estimates. Now if I just want to get the unstandardized estimates, I will select here and I will get the unstandardized estimates on the diagram. And if I just want to see the standardized estimates, I will click on standardize and I will get the standardized estimates. So these components, input diagram, when you click on the input diagram, you will see the basic diagram for inputting the components of the diagram, and this is the output of the diagram, and this is the area from where you can select this unstandardized estimates or standardized estimates. This is the area describing the brief values of chi-square test, and this is the area which is describing the files of AMOS in your current directory. So these are certain errors in the IBM SPSS AMOS. As I have described these errors have been demonstrated as well. The third error can be variable represented by rectangle in the diagram and is not an observed variable. Now look at, for example, this is an observed variable, and the variable in the diagram is AC1. Okay, if I add another variable in the diagram and this variable is not having observed variable in the data set, then I will get a problem. Okay, just look it here. Now I give it in a name which is not in the diagram. So just see here, I am giving a name of an observed variable which is not existing in the diagram. For example, I am giving just ABC, and this is error term, and I am giving the name of this error term as E7. E7 is already existing, so I am giving the E10. Okay, now run the analysis and you will get the error. So ABC is represented by a rectangle in the path diagram, but it is not an observed variable. So these are certain errors in the running of analysis in IBM SPSS AMOS software. So there are certain other errors which are related to the which are non-pop-up errors. For example, first one error is unidentification error. For example, when you are running the analysis, you have to put the things in certain way. For example, when you are going to run the analysis, one of the indicator of the latent variable should have a fixed parameter. For example, the regression weight was fixed at 0. If I delete this value of regression weight, you will and I will run the analysis, I will get I will not get any pop-up, but the analysis is not performed. And from here you can see, you can observe it from here. It's just writing output, it's just on writing output. And when you go to the output of IBM SPSS, you will get not you will not get anything in the IBM SPSS in SPSS AMOS output. And here you can see that there are no values, and this is the error of unidentified. So if you just fix any of the indicator as 1, or you just identify the value of any indicator, then you will get the result. For example, I'm assigning the regression weight of 1 to this indicator, then your analysis will be performed. Now I am clicking on, and it is performed. So this error was of unidentification. This error was unidentification. Okay, the other thing in that is not positive definite sample covariance matrix. It's mean by error, in the error term you will get many errors, and these are the basic errors which can be observed in the IBM SPSS AMOS. Thank you so much. This was the basic component of SPSS AMOS and the errors of AMOS. Thank you so much.